Hello, hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Another week, another episode. This is Stats Over Politics. As always, I'm your host, Shaun Holko, alongside my guys, Garry Singh, Jaevon Toddy. Kevin Dent is here with us in spirit. Jaevon Toddy, we just lost him for just a moment. Garry, sure he's dealing with some technical difficulties, so he will be right back as we are back with another episode of Stats Over Politics, episode number 82. And now rejoining us after being gone for about a quick 10 seconds is Jaevon Toddy. How's the Podfather doing?
Podfather. I can't get over that, man. That's crazy. You guys are going to try and make it stick as much as possible. You know,
I'm going to try.
We're in the thick of things. We're almost 2 weeks in, so there's no return policy on that. So it's a lifetime thing. So we're hanging in there.
Hell yeah. How are you doing, Garry?
I'm doing good, man. It was a nice all-star weekend, I guess, to watch. It's relaxing. It's rain here. People don't know in Sacramento it's thunderstorming and things of that nature. So I'm not a man who likes the rain, so it hasn't really been too beautiful. But, you know, another day, another dollar, another nice day. What else?
Yes, sir. And I'm happy to be here with you guys to talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend that we just saw. Mediocre NBA All-Star Weekend, you could say. So we're going to get into that on today's episode of Stats Over Politics. We're also going to get to the other news in the NBA that the Nets decided to fire their head coach, Jaevon. And then we're also going to have Factor Cap. We're going to get to all of that in probably about a power hour. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right to it with NBA All-Star Weekend. As gentlemen, it kicked off on Friday night with Team Shannon, as in Shannon Sharp, beating Team Stephen A. Smith 100-91. Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys, he won MVP as he scored 37 points and 16 rebounds. The thing I personally really enjoyed about that game was seeing Puka Nacua represent for the Pat McAfee show, because Pat McAfee with the game in Indianapolis was supposed to play in that game. And then Pat saw he saw how serious everyone was taking it. And he realized, you know what? I probably shouldn't participate. It's bulking season, meaning that he's just trying to put on some of that dad weight that Jaevon may be experiencing right now. And so Pat McAfee had Puka Nacua replace him, and Puka played really well in the Celebrity All-Star game. I also enjoyed seeing CJ Stroud, Coleridge Bernard from the Ohio State University and the Inland Empire. He really showed up in this game, and he was very aggressive early, was shooting a lot of threes, realized that the three ball wasn't really falling for him, so he just started attacking the basket, getting fouled, going to the free throw line, and CJ Stroud ended up finishing the game with about 25 points. So the NFL stars really stood out in the Celebrity All-Star game. And just one quick thing I'll say about that before we move on to the Rising Stars Challenge is that one day I hope I can play in the NBA All-Star Weekend Celebrity All-Star game. That would be pretty cool to me. I might go out there, make 1 3 and throw up a bunch of other bricks, but that would be really cool if I could.
I'm trying to go for 30. I ain't gonna lie. I'm balling.
Gary would be out there on his LA Fitness best out there.
24-hour fitness, actually. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I know that you are a frequenter of 24-hour fitness. But the joke is always that guys
LA
are out
Fitness,
there, giving their LA Fitness best. Jaevon, that reminds me of when we used to play for In-N-Out Burger in the In-N-Out.
I was just about to say,
Jaevon was going hard back in the day for 276.
Bro, I was really trying to win every game.
You were trying to get buckets going?
It was so fun though, Shaun. It was so fun.
They were.
I was like 18, 19, and like I would
back in the day.
I even think like one year, like when I wasn't even working, I like went to go to watch your guys' game.
Yep, you sure did. You were super supportive, and we appreciate you for that. I don't want to say this as a proclamation.
Pull up, you gotta have the picture somewhere and post it on the.
I could definitely find that. If I knew that we were going to talk about this, then I would have had it ready to go. But
backstory, we'll do a backstory. We'll do a quick
backstory. I can pull it up. I can pull it up a little bit later. But
first year I ever played in it was in Concord. Yeah, it was like somewhere in Concord, and then we like we low. I'm not gonna lie, we low key like trained for this. We had practices and the whole shit. Like it was.
Wait, so we're go from the top.
Shout out,
so it's an In-N-Out tournament. What is it? Y'all explain. I didn't. This is In-N-Out. All the stores play each other, or what?
In-N-Out does like different like sports tournaments. Like they do softball.
Bro, I did not know that. That's crazy.
They do softball. They do like
soccer.
They do I think golf, and they do basketball. They do them at different times of the year. It's basically all of the In-N-Out stores across wherever it is. So there's teams from Oregon.
Damn.
I think there was a team from Arizona.
They split it. They did split the tournaments up with NorCal and SoCal. And so because there wasn't a lot of Oregon stores, they would join us in the NorCal group.
There's way more stores now, but back then it was kind of just like all of the stores, like pretty much in NorCal for the most part. We would all play against each other at one big tournament. And so our team, like, we went in and pretty much beat the shit out of everybody.
Sure did.
We were actually trying. Shout out to Terry though. Me and Terry were like kind of like really. he's another like real hooper. So, we got all the way to like. It's different how they do it. They kind of do it like
we made it to the quarterfinals. It was the final 8.
It was like the grouping stage. We were the number 1 seed throughout the whole entire.
Okay, I was getting off.
And we lost the first game off of the game winner. I was so mad. I was so angry, bro.
Wait, one question. Were you guys allowed to call off your shifts to make these events or what? Because half they got a game day during the shifts.
I think so. Yeah, I think
they were scheduled off, and our store manager was there. Shout out to Megan.
Oh, she makes sure my team's gonna be off this weekend.
Yeah. Like our team got scheduled to be off that week, so yeah, it was so fun. Like I'll never forget those days. It was lifelong memories for sure.
In and out hoop sessions.
I was definitely trying my hardest to win. Like I was trying to win. So.
I was personally trying my best just to get into the game.
Crazy.
Was there any prize or no?
I don't even remember what the prize was. I was just trying to win, bro. Because I was just like
straight up
bragging rights, Gary. Yeah, bragging rights.
I was wondering. I was wondering too. Like, there's maybe the cherry on top, in and out for life for the winning team or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we lost to Madison, and then yep, and then the year after Jaevon, after you had left In and Out, but I was still there, and that year that you came to watch us, I remember we lost to the Rancho Cordova store, 122, and I will never forget that, and I will never forget their store number because I was so pissed that we lost to them. Because to be honest, like this was back in like 2019. Yeah, this is like pre-pandemic. Or maybe even okay, so yeah, it was 2019 was the most recent one that I played in, and I just remember that Rancho store, like when we lost to them, they had like 7 players and they barely had any subs. They had no business beating us, but we just didn't play well that day.
I think
they ended up upsetting us. Oh, okay, you were on that team still,
yeah. I played.
Oh yeah, you were, because you were fucking angry. You were slamming the bench after.
We played 2 years.
Oh, you was doing the Odell stuff, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Toddy was pissed.
I was so
mad. Guilty.
This was the year, because the first year our team was really good that year. The second year we lost Terry. Terry wasn't on the team anymore, so he was kind of like the other like star player on the team, and it was kind of just like, it was different. But we did lose to Rancho. I forgot about that. You just reminded me.
I'll never forget it, I guess. Well,
the first year was probably the year that I was like, we should have won. We should have won. But then I remember, like, wasn't there like a second day where we because we played in Rockland on it, or was it just a different year where we just played?
I think that was a different year that we started playing at the Hardwood Palace.
Yeah, Hardwood Palace. That's where all the AAU games are for people who don't know in Sacramento area. That's where that is.
Well, Toddy, one thing I wanted to ask you that I was alluding to earlier before we get back to All-Star Weekend is I didn't want to say this as a proclamation because I could be wrong, but didn't you blow out a shoe at one of these In and Out tournaments?
This is someone was just talking to me.
Zion, huh? Ball was going to Zion?
I thought it was a great idea so I brought like 3 pairs of shoes because I just wanted to be cool and just swag out, be like, oh, look at me, I'm the guy that's hooping.
He was fresh.
And blah, blah, blah. I thought it was a great idea to buy a pair of 2003 Flu Games and wear them in the basketball game and play, let alone play in them. And they were holding up for like the first quarter or something like that. And then
it wasn't long.
Blew out of them. And so I forget what other
I
had some low top bread 11s that I think I played in the rest of the way. But I brought like 3 pairs of shoes because I was like, I'm gonna switch all my pairs of shoes and play in. So I'm the coolest guy.
Real league guy, huh?
I'm the
you
coolest
bag and everything.
Out here.
At least you get to make fun of it back in the day.
I think I have a video of me and Shaun and Soph, and we're all like sitting down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. On Snapchat, I remember it.
At the In and Out tournament. But it was memories for sure. It was just, lifelong memories. I actually saw Murph last night, I think, because I went to In and Out. And I saw him.
Hey, there you go.
Murph was the guy who you couldn't leave him open. He was the shooter for our team. He played in high school because we had all just kind of recently graduated. So I'm like, okay, he used to play. So he was actually kind of good. And I used to play and Terry plays. I'm trying to put everybody together, and we were recruiting the whole shit. So, and there was like a rule where you could play, you have to be on you have to be with a store for a certain amount of time to be eligible to play. And so
because Megan had guys just showing up. Oh yeah, welcome to the store, and then they were playing for the team a month later.
No, bro. Yeah, they were bro, if you leave, just stay on the schedule once a month. And so
exactly. That's what Eric did.
They're like, so you
they over here keeping people on the roster, in and out roster.
Oh man, it was
just for a once a year basketball tournament.
And I hated it that was once a year because like after we lost the first year, I was like pissed off for like the
go back at it again.
This is all the time. It's only once a year.
And then wanted to come back and play, and then when you go back and play, it's like everybody's different now. And it's like you weren't on this team last year, so it's
I've been looking down at my phone trying to find it.
When you're at In-N-Out, you don't usually stay in one store. Usually people that are trying to like move up or mix, they bounce all over the place. So everyone's different the next year that you go. But so many fun memories just working there at In-N-Out. Made a lot of really cool people that you still kind of fuck with to this day still. So
okay, well,
it was pretty amazing. I'm not even gonna lie, I loved it.
Me too. Those were good memories. And I couldn't find, I was looking down on my phone for a while because I was trying to find a photo from our tournament. I couldn't find one real quickly, and I'm not going to have the podcast hold up just to try and find this photo, especially for the audio only listeners. But I did find a photo of me wearing my In-N-Out basketball jersey in Hawaii because I thought it was such a cool jersey. Here's the jersey, Garrett. Like we were legit.
And that looks like the In-N-Out, the little tray.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Same color.
So I had to take some videos of me.
In-N-Out burger.
At the tournament. I think
I got enough money to get y'all some Stitch jerseys, man.
I
had fresh.
I think I had Sub take a bunch of videos of me at the tournament because I was like, record me and I'm gonna put this in.
I'm gonna do my mixtape.
World Star.
Bro, and that's what I was trying to be like because I thought it was gonna blow up. I didn't think nobody. I was like, they don't have nobody, no In-N-Out basketball players like that. So
we tried.
I'm gonna be the In-N-Out. This I think this is pre-TikTok too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it was for sure, most definitely.
There was definitely no TikTok at this time, and so I thought I was gonna go viral playing In-N-Out basketball.
They're gonna say man goes for 50 in In-N-Out basketball league.
Hey man, all that matters is that we had fun. And In-N-Out is like a great company to work for. Like here's a picture of like me with Eric and Lars at one of the family picnics. Like it's a big old like drink cup to take photos in. Like
picnics too. Yeah.
They had like In-N-Out. I will just close the segment by saying In-N-Out is such a good company to work for. Like they pay you well. You really got to work hard. Like you're constantly moving. Like you clock in for a 6-hour shift. You are not going to stop moving except for your 10-minute break. But it's a great company to work for. Highly recommend it. And all of that to say, Jaevon, I think if you or me or even Garry, because I see Garry hooping constantly, if any of us ever got the opportunity to compete in the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, we would be ready. We would be ready. Come find us. Come find us. So Micah got MVP in the Celebrity Game. Then that takes us to the Rising Stars game, which was on Friday night. And yeah, Micah definitely played bully ball. That's for sure.
You didn't see Kai Cenat out there, Shaun?
Did I see who?
Kai Cenat.
Oh yeah, I did see Kai Cenat out there. He wasn't newsworthy to me, but I did see him out there.
Did he get buckets or no? I didn't watch. Did he get any buckets?
He only had like 2 points.
He had like 2 points, and he was pissed that he did not win MVP. You can see when they presented Micah with the MVP award, Kai was to his right, and like he was all happy, cheery when they were naming it, and then they said Micah Parsons, and he just see his expression go from like happy to he's like, what? And he looked insulted, right? I know, right? But yeah, Kai was also
he was like pulling up to the show. He was like pulling up to the game with Steph. He like walked.
Man, they're really collabing with these streamers and TikTokers now for sure on these events. So.
Yeah, and speaking of another one, what was the guy's name? Like Tristan Jass or something like that.
The other basketball dude, Kelsey.
Yeah,
pass the ball.
Yeah, and then he came after her on Twitter, and he was like, just for the record, in the first half, I had more assists than you have averaged in your entire career. And Kelsey just responded. She was like, "You naked mole rat, you right." She was like, fair, you got me, but you a naked mole rat.
Pull up the deuce for the 2-time because she's a 2-time.
Exactly, 2-time champ. And
That's hella
so,
disrespectful. Oh my god.
yeah, she got after him. But hey, he had himself a
No,
good
I'm talking
performance in that
about
sport.
him. Oh, why is he even trying to get on her? Why is he trying to get on her for? Because he wouldn't pass the ball.
It's because
he
he
just
was
dribbles
bugged.
a lot, and like that's kind of what his persona is. But he was actually
Yeah, I know. I've seen him on the internet. He just dribble.
Yeah.
He's good at like moves like that. So
He was hooping though. I'll give him his credit. Like he came out with an aggressive ass layup to start that game. So like he was hooping. But now getting to the Rising Stars game, it had a different format this year rather than just one team versus another, rookie versus sophomore or world versus USA. It was actually split into 4. You had Tamika Catchings was a captain, Jalen Rose was a captain, Pau Gasol was a captain, and Detlef Schrempf was a captain. And Keegan Murray, Keegan
Murray.
Thank you.
I'm not even
Unfortunately, I know. Unfortunately,
That was
Gary
bad
was
timing.
sipping. Gary was sipping on his water, and bad timing
That was
on
a
my
horrible
part
timing.
for the setup. Anyways, Keegan.
Murray. Oh, I got you.
There we go. All right. Well, Keegan played for Team Tamika. Team Tamika got out to like a 9-0 lead, going to 40 against it was Team Jalen. And then Jalen called a timeout, and then Team Jalen, who was featuring Chet Holmgren, came all the way back. They won. Then the Team Detlef Schrempf, which was made up of G Leaguers, beat Team Pow that had Wemby on it, which I didn't understand that. But then in the end, Team Jalen beat Team Detlef, and all was right in the world. And so I like the new format with that game. But now, guys, getting to the skills challenge. The skills challenge was interesting because we had a team of all-stars, we had a team of Pacers, and what was a team of number 1 overall picks. Yep. And Scotty Barnes, man, he looked a little rough. He looked a little rough in that Rising Stars challenge. So Jaevon, the Pacers ultimately won the skills challenge, but what were your overall takeaways and reaction to it?
The number 1 overall picks couldn't shoot.
That too.
I knew when they all. I was like, well, he can't shoot.
Anthony can shoot. Anthony Edwards can shoot. He was just shooting with his damn left hand.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. I kind of thought somehow magically the Pacers team they were gonna try hard to win. When they were doing the passing drills, they were all.
Advantage.
I think it was at the end. They were all at the 6 spot, like the 6th score, and they all just throwing it into that. But
both grabbing 2 balls at once.
So I thought the All-Stars were gonna win initially, just based off of what they were capable of. But Scotty was being Scotty out there and kind of doing whatever. But when it ultimately came down to the half-court challenge, Shaun, I was like, Team Indy is probably going to win. And I'm like, Tyrese Halliburton's probably going to hit the game-winning shot or the game-sealing shot or whatever, however you want to call it, when they did the half-court challenge. So it was cool to see, Indy win it in Indy, which was pretty cool. I thought that just meant that Tyrese Halliburton was going to win All-Star MVP and the 3-point champ after that. So I thought the skills challenge was pretty entertaining for the most part.
Shaun, go ahead. I did not.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was taking off my crew neck hoodie and I forgot that I muted myself. And what the listeners missed out on hearing me say in that brief bit of pause is, Gary, what about you?
I was just gonna throw it back to you because I didn't watch the skills challenge. I'm not gonna lie. So this is about the All-Star Weekend. They got so many events, which is great for the fans. But I only feel like really I only watched like 3 events. We're about to talk about now: 3-point, dunk, and All-Star game. So if you got any thoughts, Shaun, go ahead.
Yeah, well, let's get right to it with the 3-point shootout because Damian Lillard, he said, I'm not here to waste my time. And he won the 3-point shootout again. As Jaevon is indicating, it was Dame time as Damian Lillard won back-to-back 3-point shootouts. And this one was really entertaining because after the first round, like, I'm gonna pause just to say one quick thing I have to mention before we get into what actually happened in this contest is I, for the life of me, do not understand why Malik Beasley was in this 3-point shootout. Like maybe I'm a casual
He's a
and
solid
Malik
shooter.
Beasley. Is he shooting like 40-45% from the field? Because
He's like
if
reminds me of our guy
that,
Kevin last year. He's pretty good at shooting, just maybe not in this round.
3-and-D guy, Shaun. 3-and-D.
He's 3-and-D
okay,
guy,
well,
for sure.
to me, like Malik Beasley had to be like the 15th, 20th pick. Like they asked a bunch of other guys, they all said no, and then they got to Malik Beasley, and he was like, "I'll do it." And that's why, because like you look at the field, you have Trae Young, All-Star, Damian Lillard, All-Star, Lowry Markkanen, All-Star, Tyrese Halliburton, All-Star,
former All-Star,
a bunch of All-Stars everywhere. Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, they were everywhere. And then there's Malik Beasley, and I'm like,
Give us that shot. Then actually, I didn't even notice that
I'm sorry.
All-Stars. I didn't even notice. Usually they sprinkle non-All-Stars into the 3-point contest. Usually kind of a couple more.
Like the other year, they had Joe Harris in it. He's a 3-point shooter.
Yeah,
okay, but Joe Harris is like just a straight up sharpshooter. That's all he does. Like Malik Beasley has bounced around the NBA. Buddy Hield, sharpshooter.
Yeah, like a buddy.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of a Malik Beasley casual.
That'd have been cool.
He had a bad day.
Yeah, I guess I'm just a Malik Beasley casual because like to me he just stuck out like a sore thumb. Like I just saw all the names.
He was a dark horse. A lot of people were betting on him to win too.
Yeah, I know. Man, well, maybe I'm just uneducated, but I just had to say that real quickly. That was interesting to me. But anyways, first round was great. You had 4 players tie with 26. It was Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, Karl Anthony Towns, and Damian Lillard. So because only 3 players can advance to the final round with the new format, they had to do a tiebreaker shootout for 30 seconds where each player ended up giving it a shot. And Tyrese Halliburton was it Tyrese Halliburton who finished 4th, right? Tyrese Halliburton put up like 15 or whatever, and he finished 4th to fall out of it. And so, Gary, what did you think of that?
Yeah. Technically, he got eliminated, yeah.
Okay, my bad.
No, I was going to real quick. I did look up Malik Beasley's shooting percentage. It's what?
Go ahead.
You hear me?
Well, you're like Gary. I think. Yeah, I can hear you. I think you might be on a little bit of a delay because Gary will rejoin us in just a moment. Yeah. Anyways, sorry. That's what we get with live streams.
I thought it was just me.
Well, yeah, you will. When I saw him like signal to say something, and like I tossed it to him like right after he signaled, and then like he didn't speak for like another 5-10 seconds, and that's when I realized that there might have been a little bit of a delay.
I didn't know that like they go to a I thought they would just went to the next round just because only 3 can advance. But I was like, well, if they're all tied, then why don't they just all advance to the second round and just
right?
Yeah, but they did like a little round where they go for 30 seconds and they go for half, and I think Halliburton missed a couple of his like starry balls.
Yeah,
whatever that they call it now. So that kind of
formerly known as Sierra Mist, R.I.P.
Yeah. I had who I thought was gonna win was Cat, but then I think Uncle Manny said Trae Young was gonna win, and Trae Young made it to the final round. So I'm like, oh shit. And Eb was like, damn, out of nowhere. So all 3 of those guys, because Dame obviously had won it in the past, and Cat had won it in the past too. So I was like, there's some substance there, and kind of like his shooting form, how quickly he can shoot the basketball for a big. I was like, he can probably, get a couple of shots up. So I like the element of, the starry ball. I think it's being worth like 3. So if you hit that, 3 points. So I thought it was very entertaining for it going past, into the second round, ultimately Damian Lillard winning. But I think that it's way more entertaining than the dunk contest. I feel like a lot of people tune in for the 3-point contest because you're seeing stars like Cat, Damian Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, and Jalen Brunson was in it. So Donovan Mitchell was in it. So you're just seeing a whole bunch of
all stars.
all-stars that are in it. So you're like, okay, this is a lot.
Except for Malik Beasley.
Except for Malik Beasley, who Shaun just continued to hate on throughout the podcast. So
yeah,
and he has shot 44%. Just to let you know, Shaun, this season 44% from 3.
40,
all right.
So that's why. That's why. That is why.
Give him his props. So
yeah,
I had to go make sure search that up for you real quick.
I'm sorry, Malik Beasley. Thank you, Garry, for educating me. Bucks Nation is probably already going nuts.
And kind of just going back to it, I saw a clip on X. Kyrie Irving won.
He didn't play good with the Lakers though
in 2013, and he won it with like 20. Like his final score was like 23, and you're seeing guys 26, 29, getting into the 30s here and there. So you're kind of seeing that the game is evolving. 3-point shooting is a lot better than it used to be. So I think, with the score like 23, I don't even think you would have made it out of the first round. Because it was 26 and up for the most part. So you're kind of seeing these scores start to creep up a little bit because the threat of 3-point shooting now is a lot more prevalent, and people are shooting more and more threes now. So I just think it's a lot more competitive. The 3-point shootout is than obviously the dunk contest, which we'll get into a little bit later.
Garry, welcome back. I think we are basically all good. I mean, can you wave at me real quickly?
I'm good.
Hey,
you good?
We're not good. We're not good. We're great. So, what did you think of the 3-point contest?
I loved it, to be honest with you. I think this is literally my favorite part of the All-Star Weekend, to be honest with you. And I mean, I do like some aspects of the All-Star game when we get to later, but I think this is the most exciting part of the All-Star Weekend now. Like Vaughn mentioned, it just gets more competitive when someone's close. Like when Dame's getting closer and closer, I'm like, oh, is he gonna hit it? Oh, he needs this one for sure, And then even like if you have a bad start, and depending on you gotta be smart with where you're gonna put your money ball rack. You know what I'm saying, to get you started up quick. Like Vaughn mentioned, having that deep 3-pointer with the quote unquote starry ball, meaning more, and the money ball at the end. So there's a little bit of incentives that we're like clutch genes gotta come in. Instinctive stuff gotta come in. It's also where Shaun mentioned. You could be a shooter in the league, but you're just not might be good at pulling off the rack and pulling it this way. Maybe you're just a down and up. You like straight, pull up threes. So, with real basketball purists, like when we talk about basketball, this 3-point contest really favors. I mean, if you can shoot at the end of the day, but it favors certain type of shooters and certain type of movement shooters and things of that nature. More like in position shooters, not catch and shoot and stuff like that. So I think it's entertaining. I know on the broadcast they mentioned it's not maybe as much. I think Reggie Miller said this should be the final thing for Saturday night, instead of the dunk contest.
I agree. We all agree.
And I think I would agree with that too. But I think I forgot who said it, if Kenny Smith said it or Reggie Smith it, I forgot whoever rebutted back on that and said basically the energy in the building is not the same. Yeah, he did. But I kind of agree. Maybe like if the energy in the building is not getting as hyped up, I don't know why it wouldn't be, because I was pretty hyped up. Like I was yelling to my brother, game time. I was like, this is like, like you guys mentioned, a lot of superstars were in those final minutes, in those final categories, especially when they all tied up at 26 and they had to go to a tiebreaker. I was thinking, what are they going to do? They let them all go and they all get a final round. But I like how, basically get an extra round of basketball. It kind of favors you quick release guys, because you'll get 30 seconds and, some guys got to the middle rack. Some guys didn't get to the middle rack. You know what I'm saying? And so it kind of is a little bit unfair, but hey, that's the nature of the beast. You got to kind of be a certain type of shooter, or you just got to be so good at shooting like Curry is and Dame is that it don't matter where it's from, where it's at, what angle, what, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to make it and shoot that thing. So I loved it. I just feel, like these guys are putting up crazy scores every single year. I don't know if it's a perfect rack yet, but I know one of these years somebody's going to have it's a heater where they just knock down all of them. I have a gut feeling that's going to happen one year. I don't know if Curry's going to do it or who's going to do it, but shooting's getting so greater. Huh?
Said it might be Sabrina Ionescu.
You never know. Like anybody, man, it don't matter, man, woman or man. Like literally, like the shooting is getting so after premium. Like, okay, a little quick insight, just a side note for Shaun mentioning, since we had a little So I'm talking about some rookie, off the court street ball earlier, I guess. Like, even in the gym, bro, from playing from last, 10 years, I'm not going to lie, it is low-key a Curry effect, as you guys know. If you go to any gym now, there's way more, we already know, people are pulling up for way more threes now, things of that nature. There's even way more younger kids now in the gyms that can shoot. Like, back in the day, even in basketball, back in the day, it used to be, 3 this is a bigger conversation towards basketball where,
I
there's
did it
5
before it
people
was
now.
cool.
There's 5 people who can shoot now on the basketball court. When back in the day, you used to have 2 guys sitting in a low block, 3 shooters, maybe, quote unquote, 2 liabilities who really can't shoot on the low block and 3 guys who shoot. Now it's all 5 guys got to be, be able to be shooters on the floor majority of the time, at least 4. And if you're, what I'm saying? So it's the level of shooting is getting it's just a domino effect every which way. The All-Star game to the All-Star game itself, the 3-point contest of shooting, you know what I'm saying? The actual game itself, it's just getting a domino effect every which way, which is you can hate it, you can love it. I appreciate it because I feel like it's a hard skill. If anyone ever shot a basketball, they would know, making those type of tough shots and things of nature. These guys put a lot of work, a lot of repetitions to be as good as they are. So I just think the All-Star, I pretty much think the 3-point contest, it should be the main event of the weekend, and it really gives the fans that juice and that little competitiveness they want to see, especially between the All-Stars. And something I feel like, if we're going to talk about something they can add real quick, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know if the guys would want to do that because they already get mic'd up so much. But, when they were just chitter-chattering, and, they got the camera so close to all those guys on the bench talking to each other, Jalen Brunson, shit, I wish you can hear a little bit what they're saying, they're talking shit or you know what I'm saying? Because, those guys just mess around. I know they already get mic'd up so much often already. But for the TV viewer, I already know, the NBA's, they announced so many things this weekend using AI and stuff like that in the future of the game. I don't know if you guys seen that. They use AI basketball, change the vision of the game and stuff. So, they get more stuff like that. Things can be really cool. So, I know it's a little bit not what the basketball purists love, but hey, it's gonna get more eyes and more intrigue. So I think it's gonna make more money for all people included. So I think it'll be a cool idea to keep adding those things into these once a year events. That's their prime time weekend. Adam Silver said this is the only thing in the NBA where Super Bowl, it's everyone in the whole year, this is a date, it's already locked in, it's at a place, not like the finals where it could be here, there, we don't know. It's kind of like the Super Bowl where it's the only scheduled event where everyone in the NBA can all their fans and everyone can, you can quote unquote really, plan a vacation. I don't know if it was an Indiana one, but you know what I'm saying? You can plan a vacation maybe next year when it's in SF. I'm thinking about it already with the homies. We might just have to go to the All-Star game next year, y'all. But I'm just saying, it's that one of the events where everyone is coming to see. So they got to try to do their best, obviously, to keep trying to. I don't want to see it go away. I know we're going to talk about it later. I don't want to see it go away. So then just keep trying to tweak it and keep trying to make it better, and hopefully something can click one day here soon.
I agree with the both of you that the 3-point shootout should be the main event because the dunk contest just isn't what it once was. And it's as simple as that. And the other thing I will say about this 3-point contest from this year is I was quite disappointed because my pick for this contest was, big shocker, Lowry Markkanen, the finisher. And he had 25 in the first round. Finished 1 point short of getting into that tiebreaker round, potentially going on to win it all. So 2025.
Always riding with him.
The finish.
Always.
Yep. There's not many Finnish people that I know in America. So the one that's in the NBA, I'm going to continue to rock with him. But now getting to the other 3-point shooting contest from this weekend. And this one was quite entertaining as well. As for the first time, we had an NBA player versus the WNBA player as Stephen Curry matched up against Sabrina Ionescu in a 1-round 3-point shootout. And whoever won the 1 round, that's it. So Sabrina came out. She scored 26.
I thought you were
which was, man.
Which was the men's.
Sabrina, exactly. Thank you, Gary. You took the words right out of my mouth that that was the men's score, as Sabrina literally matched the top score that was got him into the second round. I think Dame had a little bit. I think Dame had 27 or 29 in the final round, but still in the first round, which this was Steph and Sabrina's first round. They didn't really they got maybe a couple minutes to warm up, but they were basically just shooting cold. Sabrina puts up a 26, but then Steph comes out. Steph puts up 29, and he proves why he's the greatest. Man, so Steph showed why he is the greatest shooter of all time. But Jaevon, what did you think about this? Because obviously I'm a huge Sabrina fan. She's the reason why I got so into the WNBA starting back in 2020. And I just thought it was so cool. And the coolest part about it to me is that Sabrina referenced a photo of her at Oracle Arena giving Steph a high five when she was like 10, 12 years old. And it was like a rookie second-year Steph. And she got to shoot against her idol, nearly beat him, and put more respect on the women's game, at least for everyone who's not Kenny Smith. And so, Jaevon, just what did you think about this?
What did Kenny Smith say? I didn't hear that part.
Oh, okay, Garry. I'll just say real quickly: rewatch the 3-point shootout between Steph and Sabrina, because Kenny Smith basically. Well, so basically, Kenny Smith. I mean, if you watched it on mute, you were better off than we were, because Kenny Smith basically was like, "I think Sabrina's gonna win. I'm rooting for Sabrina." And then after Steph beat her by like 3 points, Kenny Smith was saying, "Man, that's why she's shooting with WNBA balls. Oh, she should have shot from the WNBA line. This is why men are superior to women." Like, basically, that's everything that Kenny Smith was saying, like, towards the end of it. And he just...
Well, we needed to take that W, though. This weekend. Curry needed to get that W. I'm not going to lie, though.
Yeah, he did. But, Jaevon, what did you think of this competition? And should we see more of it in the future?
Well, first off, let's just acknowledge that when you're the greatest shooter ever, you get your own segment on All-Star Week. You get your own competition. Like, there's the 3-point competition, and there's me in shooting against somebody else in their own competition. There's Steph, and then there's everybody else. Let's just get that out of the way. I thought that was pretty insane that he has his own competition at All-Star Weekend. That is groundbreaking.
I deserved, I'm not gonna lie.
But just going off of the whole, I didn't know Sabrina was shooting from NBA range.
She shot from NBA 3-point range
until after. I was like, oh, she was out there. And then did you see it was the Nike versus Under Armour? They were kind of going at it on social media. It was like, make some he doesn't miss, and then Under Armour retweeted back and then was like, yeah, he don't miss, or something like that. And then her comments after, she was like, if you can shoot, you can shoot. And she definitely can shoot. She definitely can shoot. But when she came out, I was like, whoa, like, she might win. she might come out and win, bro. Like, she was not missing. It kind of came at towards the end of her rack was where she started to kind of miss a couple of shots, but she still ended with 26. Which was like, if she was in the men's competition, she would advance to the second round.
The championship.
So, if it weren't for the greatest shooter ever, she might have been able to beat, like, you could argue that she would have been able to beat any of those other guys.
She would have.
On the other roster. Or you could argue that she maybe could have beaten Dame or Cat or Trae Young.
I mean, she could have beat almost Curry.
She went toe-to-toe with the best shooter ever, so, I mean... I don't know how many people can say that. So probably Klay Thompson, because he beat Steph in what was that, 2016, I think, when Klay Thompson won it. So, but just hats off to Sabrina. I was seeing some different ideas about them doing like a Sabrina and somebody else from the WNBA,
Caitlin Clark, potentially.
Perhaps if she does that, then she'll damn near be the face of the league by next year.
Exactly.
Versus like a Steph and like a Dame, I don't know. That'd be pretty. I would tune in to watch that. That would be something that I'd want to watch. Other than, I'd probably just get rid of the dunk contest. Just put those. just put that in there.
I'd get rid of the skills challenge before the dunk contest, just because of the nostalgia of the dunk contest.
What it used to be, what it once was.
Yeah. What we hope it could be.
Yeah. Well, on that note, though, Vaughn, I was going to piggyback on what you said, because I was going to say, for ideas wise, I think, obviously, I think this is a great event. Obviously, I feel like both of them showed out and showed up, And and like she said, if you can shoot, you can shoot at the end of the day. And like I said, tip of the cap to her because I'm happy that she shot from the 3-point line because no excuses. Then it won't be no ignorant male or female, whoever wanted to talk shit about her for
Kenny
being
Smith.
on this stage, saying that oh, if she would have shot closer, what I'm saying. Obviously, she should shoot with a female ball. I think that just makes sense because that's what she shoots with on the daily, and that's just
And she did.
like. And that's what I'm saying. That I think that's fine. I don't think that shouldn't. I don't think no one should be knocking her for that. I'm just trying to make sure. No, I'm just trying to state that make sure no one knocks her for that too. I feel like that's just reasonable. Like, what else is she supposed to shoot with? That's what she practiced with 24/7. You know what I'm saying? It's like giving Steph a girl ball all of a sudden. Like, that's just weird. Why would you do that to him? So I feel like
so
she shoots from 3-point line. Exactly. So her shooting from 3-point line. I think that gives her a lot of credit in this, and I really feel like they should just keep taking it a step further. Like is to make some more superstars and like bring more eyes to your other counterpart in the WNBA, you know what I'm saying, and help these young superstars that are coming up that are women are in the college game. They got four or five superstars there now where they're more popular than a lot of the WNBA stars people are saying. So if they can kind of use this as a launching pad in every All-Star game, because they don't have All-Star game. I think they have All-Star Day or like something like that. I remember
they
one of
have
the players talking
They
about
have their own game. They don't
they
have
have the
like,
game, but it's like a day. It's not a weekend. It's like a day.
They
I'm
have
pretty
a
sure.
weekend. They have.
Are you sure? Because I literally heard of WNBA superstar. What's her name on the Gil's Venus podcast?
With the WNBA podcast.
I know, but I'm talking about. I'll listen to the girl who's on the WNBA. She literally said on the podcast. She said we got like a half a day.
You may have misunderstood what she said, or she may have been exaggerating because it's not a 4-day weekend where
it's not
like
as extravagant as this, basically, obviously. So she's
it's not. It's like a day and a half, and like
somebody from the NBA.
So what is it? It's not a weekend. It's a day and a half.
Like they should like that, yeah.
If you ask Kevin, the weekend is 2
disrespect.
days.
Yeah. So basically, she felt like disrespect. So I'm just echoing. I'm echoing her that it was disrespect. So I'm trying to say, let's get some more respect for them. Get them, on NBA All-Star Weekend stage with a couple of their best shooters who deserve to be there. You know what I'm saying? Who are really up there. Like you guys mentioned, go 2-on-2, 4-on-4 type thing where like even if you want to mix it up or something, any way to help boost that league too, because it's going to help everyone. It's just going to help the game of basketball, and I think that's what they talked about a lot this weekend, right? The game of basketball. Mm-hmm. You have Larry Bird there, who never played for the Pacers, but born in Indiana and things of that nature, and also just obviously Reggie Miller, who played for the Pacers. So they had a lot of things about just the game of basketball. So I feel like that would really help, and that would really do something cool. So overall, I feel like that little event showed up. What do you call it? Showed up and showed out, really, to be honest with you. Because if she would have stunk it up and Steph would have killed her, or vice versa, if it wasn't close, it would have been a lot of things said. Especially if Steph would have lost, he would have got clobbered, and maybe he just would have had a bad shooting day. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all know Steph can shoot. You feel me? It happens to him in games once in a while. Blue Moon, he's gonna have a bad shooting day. So for them to both show up and show out with big time scores, I think it's really like credit to them because that's pretty tough to do. You know what I'm saying? So. Hopefully they can just keep building on this and keep, collaborating with the WNBA in these weekends to keep, a lot of fans probably know who Sabrina is now, who never probably even tuned into a WNBA game to watch her play. And she's on one of the biggest teams in New York Liberty, in a big market type team. So it's really good for, I think, both leagues, but really good for their league. And, I'm not saying that Steph is Sabrina needs this, but cool, nice for a shout out to Steph too for sharing, like Vaughn says, sharing his for I guess his superstardom with her too. A lot of people are gonna know her now for the girl who went toe to toe with Steph Curry. So that's for the casuals and things and people who only tune in because there's someone else watching. Like those people. Though that's going to overall help both of the games. So I think that's the overall, message of the weekend, trying to help basketball. So I think it's a good.
Would you say she's the best player in the WNBA, Shaun?
No, she's definitely not. No. Okay. I love Sabrina.
She's the best shooter, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, she's definitely top 5 as far as shooters, without a doubt. As far as overall players, you got Asia Wilson, you got Brianna Stewart.
Buck.
Then, I mean, Diana Taurasi's probably still too. She's too old now. She's the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, and then you could put. Yeah, I guess Sabrina would be top 5 because you put Chelsea Gray in that top 5.
And
put
Shaun just named
Shaun
named 4 players, and 2 of them are on the same team. So let's get that.
Yeah,
let's get that out the way. So
yeah, Chelsea. I mean, yeah, you got 5 great players just on the Aces, and then and since we're just briefly touching on the WNBA, Gary, very well said, and I think it did put a great spotlight on the WNBA. And as you said, Gary, it may not have been needed, but it sure did help a lot, especially with all the casuals. Just while we're briefly touching on the WNBA, I will say that the biggest news from the WNBA has been the fact that Nneka Ogwumike, a multi-time All-Star, former MVP, decided to leave the Los Angeles Sparks and sign with the Seattle Storm, and Skylar Diggins-Smith decided to leave the Phoenix Mercury to sign with the Seattle Storm. So now we damn near got a third. Yeah, well, we damn near got a third super team in the WNBA now because you got Jewel Lloyd. The Jewel Lloyd I'd probably put ahead of Sabrina, by the way. But you got Jewel Lloyd, you got Skylar Diggins-Smith, and Nneka Ogwumike, along with Ezzy McMagor when Ezzy was an all-star last year. I mean, they got something cooking up in Seattle. I will say that. And I just love the spotlight. And Gary, you said it very well that props to both Steph and Sabrina for being willing to put themselves in the spotlight and put themselves under the magnifying glass with all the pressure, all the eyes on them, and they both performed. And I absolutely love to see it. Should we even talk about the dunk contest, or should we just skip it? Because
we're gonna talk about a little bit of it.
Okay, well, okay.
Every year we talk about the fixes, the negatives, and what else? It's like the repeat pod every year.
All right, Gary. Well, let's have a quick repeat then, because Mac McClung, he repeated as the slam dunk champion. Mac McClung from the Magic's G League affiliate, the whatever Magic. It starts with an O. I can't remember what it is. Don't have it in front of me.
Tough.
Mac McClung from the G League affiliate of the Magic, as well as Jacob Toppin, Obi's little brother, who plays for the Westchester Knicks, another G League player, was in this contest. Then you also had Jaime Jaquez, rookie for the Miami Heat. He got hops. And, I'm going to pass this back to Gary because it seemed like he really wanted to talk about this dunk contest. But the last thing that I'll say before I pass the mic, Gary, is shout out to Jaevon's boy, Jaylen Brown, an all-star who competed in the dunk contest. Regardless of what he did in the dunk contest, props to him for even participating, because it is rare when you have a notable player compete in the contest nowadays, let alone an all-star. So shout out to you, Jaylen Brown. We appreciate you. We need more people like you to want to participate. Gary, what did you think of the dunk contest? Because I wasn't a fan. Congrats, Mac McClung, I guess.
Well, I mean, in terms of Mac McClung, I do feel like the judging's been a little bit off the last few years. I feel like sometimes I feel like there should be people who are they should break down the scores of why they voted why. I feel like that would so totally help the viewer too. Because I think, my mom loves watching the dunk contest, right? And she don't even know, I have to explain to her why is this why was this so cool? Why was it, because at this point, guys, we're in a part of the dunk contest, I think we know, where not all the best dunkers are really in the NBA. And it's not because it's their fault. It's because you just can't be in the NBA just because you're a great dunker. You got to be a good at multiple other things to make the NBA and make a roster, and even a G League roster. You got to be a basketball IQ, defensive, all this stuff, offensive attributes, so many things, leadership qualities, all these things, and a little bit of luck to get into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So, just not athletic ability is not going to just the only thing to get you there. So I feel like that's the number one thing that, we're kind of expected to have, all these superstars show up, but we don't really have, I know, sorry to say it, Shaun, we don't have that many superstars who are creative, great dunkers. We might have a lot of power, and that's the thing too. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to break down these scores to give insight. All right, was this a power type dunk? Was this a dunk that was, unique in a way like McClung did? no one's gonna notice. But you know how hard it is to jump in the air, let go for a couple seconds, get the ball back, and reverse still. Like, you know, you could try it on a little hoop at your house and
Yeah,
on
that
the
should have been a
door.
50.
It's gonna be tough. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that are they make seem easy, or a scene that they do that looks tough. I think one of Toppin's dunks was really good too. Even Jaime Jaquez kind of surprised me because I didn't know he was like a jumper like that. You know what I'm saying? So him and his couple dunks. I know Jaylen Brown,
Sneaky.
his dunks were so, and obviously jumping over, no offense, a 4'5" guy or something like that. I don't know how my guy is, and he's famous as hell. And if he actually tortures us about this, might be good for our pod because we're gonna get millions of views and him torturing us. But man, like him going viral, and you know, he didn't get to do the dunk right, obviously, because I forgot who was that dunk basically for. I forgot the guy's name that he basically Terrence Clark with the cover eyes, then open your eyes.
JB were like really close before he passed away. Terrence Clark is a guy. He was committed in Kentucky before he died in a car crash.
No, I'm talking about the one before that. The DB Brown dunk, something like that, where he's like covered his eyes. He's supposed to cover his eyes the whole time.
Well, that was the dunk that he did honoring Terrence Clark, but it was a remake of the D
dunk.
Brown.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like, you know, him not doing that correctly kind of took the sizzle. I just feel like for the fans' perspective, I feel like now we're on a stage where, you know, we've seen so much. So what can you really do? You know what I'm saying? Like, we already seen the dunk, like you jumped through the free throw line a couple times. Like, only guys who are really doing it that are crazy. And I seen this point today. And I was like, I know Shaun just gave props to Jaylen Brown, but who has really done the dunk contest other than the guys we know, like Mike and obviously
Kobe.
Dominique. Dominique. Kobe did it in his rookie year, but I'm talking, he didn't do it when he was a superstar. That's the whole misnomer about LeBron James too. Like, he should have done it his first couple of years. But really, no one has done it in their when they're actually become a superstar. The only person who really did it multiple times when they were an actual true superstar was like obviously the guys you mentioned way back in the 90s who like popped it off basically, and then like Dwight Howard basically. Other than that, all the guys like Levine wasn't a superstar like that yet. Blake Griffin was like in his second year still. You know, these guys eventually became superstars.
Yeah, Giannis did it in 2015, but he wasn't a superstar
yet. Yeah, and he became, these guys became superstars, you know what I'm saying? But like these guys weren't superstars in the dunk contest. So obviously this is a young person sport. You feel me? Young competition sport. You feel me? So it makes sense. It should be young. You got your most miles, most legs when you're young out of high school, fresh and popping. You know, that's when Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady were all doing it when they were young still. I don't think they even made an all-star game either. I'm pretty sure when they did, because they did their dunk contest as well. So I think that's the key here need to fix. And at the same time, I feel like they're just gonna have to do, I think, a better job explaining some dunks, and just more creativity is gonna be involved, or maybe have to get, like they mentioned, some guys off the street to get sponsored by. But I don't ever think that you're not gonna get primetime superstar guys to come do dunk contests, guys. I just don't think that's gonna happen because I don't feel like, first of all, they know like Jaylen Brown shot to him for doing it, but everyone's probably clowning him now for not winning the dunk contest, losing to a G League guy now. You know what I'm saying? Even though he deserved to lose, he was a great guy. So, like, a great guy made some great dunks. So, it's like, there's really nothing that's going to be able to fix it because there's so many things to do and so many things have already been done. And only guys who really make it crazy are the guys who are, like, crazy athletic ability. Like, if they had Zion and Ja do it this year, which, was kind of Zion really can't do it now. Injury. Ja, he's been injured too. So we kind of missed opportunity with those two guys. So who's next? No, Edwards, he got these couple years. Hopefully he could do it. And then, his time's going to be gone because he's going to be like, it's a little too late for me. So if you want to make people do it, you got to make the young prime, like the first couple overall picks do. You know what I'm saying? The guys who have a little bit of buzz, a little bit, and we might look back like, oh, they were superstars. Like, looking back at Kobe now, like, oh, he was a superstar who did it, but he really didn't do it when he was a real superstar, but he was going to be one. You know what I'm saying? So we got to catch those guys in their athletic prime, really, because if you don't, you're not going to get the prime time guys 28, 29. You got to get the 21, 20 years who are projected to be, greatness and stuff like that. So, and, I just think, to be honest with you, end quote, I don't know. I just feel like also I just want to say side note. I don't know about y'all. The best dunk contest I've ever seen, I don't know if you guys want to mention, is the Eric Gordon and Zach LaVine one. Like, those two should have got
and Gordon got robbed.
Yeah, and he obviously deserved to have, but he didn't get robbed in my eyes because he lost to Zach LaVine. So I don't think he got robbed, to be honest with you, because I feel like his dunks were better than his. So, but it was like his own dunk could have won any other year. So obviously he deserves one of the championships thrown, but just sad to say he went versus the wrong year. So those were epic though. So you know, you got to have try to get the epic guys to go against each other. If not, we're gonna have guys who are just crazy. Something where like we're seeing cool new dunks. That's what the main thing, because it's really hard to get. It's hard to man. I was thinking like if I was a dunk contest, like how would you? It'd be really hard to come up with dunks. Like you gotta really be creative. A lot of things go into this, man. Like a lot of things go into it.
Well, Jaevon, before I pass it off to you, I will just say that some guys that are still relatively young that I think could have participated in it this year. I mean, we already had Jaylen Brown in it. I think Malik Monk of the Kings could have been in it because he's throwing down.
Now.
Okay, he's like 26. He's our age. He's not that old.
26, 27, 28. That's not. You gotta go 21, 22 age. But Shaun,
I say 30
years.
I say
30. No, you age 27,
28,
29. You're not doing that no more.
30 or under isn't that old. I mean, but you know,
for
Garry, you would. Yeah, Garry, you would know better than me. But I say Jaylen Brown, Malik Monk, Anthony Edwards, and Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns was dunking in the All-Star game. Like
what? Don't say Towns. Towns. I know he did some good dunks in the All-Star dunk.
Hey,
All-Star game.
he was going. Towns was going crazy in the All-Star game, like he was trying to get in next year's dunk contest. That's all I'm saying. Jaevon, what did you think of the mediocre dunk contest?
Garry was very passionate about the subject. We got to get him on the board ASAP. So he can start.
I want to fix this, man.
He seems like he's the guy for the job. So I kind of thought Mac McClung was gonna win, just based off of Vegas. They had him at minus 250 odds. Jaylen Brown was like plus 360 or something crazy. It's very watered down now. It's just kind of like no one wants to compete in it. So you got to kind of make it worth their while. I don't know, maybe put like $1 million up for guys that, you know, who are dunkers around the league. I don't know why it was so appealing back in the day. It was kind of like a rite of passage damn near, because, you know, you see guys like Dominique Wilkins win it. Michael Jordan won it. Obviously, Vince Carter won it. Kobe won it. So it's like you would have thought that guys would want to, like, the dunk contest used to be so entertaining, like, you know, like Griffin jumping over the car. You know, you saw the 1 year where it was Dwight Howard versus like Nate Robinson, and like Dwight came out like the phone booth wearing the Superman shit, and then Nate Robinson was wearing the all green Knick uniform, and it was like
good time.
He was like the kryptonite. So I just think, you know, you would think it would be a little bit more creative. Like, I thought it was funny when Jaylen Brown put on like the Michael Jackson glove. I thought that was funny, but like he didn't really do anything. But it was.
I mean, it was hard because it was left. He went left. Yeah. That's why it was hard.
Exactly.
Because he was trying to clap back at all the people who said he can't use his left.
Yeah. So
I didn't even think about that, Shaun.
That's why I thought it was funny.
How about this round? We get that.
But I mean,
oh my God.
Mac McClung, I thought, you know, he was probably going to win it anyway. But I saw like Stephen A say something on First Take about like you got to go like across the country and try to find dunkers and this, that, and the third. I don't know if that would work, but I feel like if you just make it more worthwhile, like maybe like give them a cash prize like you did with the in-season tournament, put up with $500,000 or $1 million prize to the winner, and maybe guys might want to compete. Because I think it's like $100,000 if you win the dunk contest. That's a lot, obviously, to Mac McClung, but like to fucking Anthony Edwards or Ja Morant, that's not even their game check.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what am I doing here? So it's just like
sometimes I don't think the money is what they even think about, though. I feel like they think about more probably the negatives, like if they lose, they lose. I feel they always think if they lose.
Exactly, that's exactly it.
If I miss 4 times in a row, you feel me?
Like if I lose, then fuck. You lost, but like if you win,
no, that's how it should be. That's how Jaylen Brown thought, obviously, you know. Yeah. Like if I lose, oh well. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. I just feel like I think underlining, I feel like low key maybe like shoes thing. You know, like your shoe guys should be trying to get in this because you get your shoe deal up. Like Jordan for sure, Air Jordan flying across the, you know what I mean? That's how that's how he got a lot of marketing done, is because he was in that contest. So, you know, like, but it's like but back then, they mentioned like they were forced to do it. Like they were basically forcing them, and yeah, I guess people today want to blame LeBron because he didn't do it and stuff like that. And obviously, I'm here to defend my LeBron. I'm gonna defend LeBron because I don't think it's his fault that the dunk contest is dead just because of him. There's like a line of superstars before and after him who haven't done it since him. So that's why I'm not understanding here. Why does he get all the blame just because he's compared to the GOAT here? When, yeah, they basically gave him a right to say yes or no. If they should have just forced him in that first 2 years, then maybe it would have been a difference. But what happens if he would have done it and then they still would have stopped? So, you know what I'm saying? You never, who knows? It's just, I just feel like at the end of the day, hashtag, that's what they're basically doing. Man didn't even show up Saturday to practice, the little all-star practice they got going on, and he's still getting blamed. I don't know where he was. He wasn't at practice.
All roads lead back to LeBron.
Exactly. All roads lead back to LeBron. As we keep things moving here on episode number 82 of Stats and Politics.
Before we leave, we can talk about LeBron real quick. I got a quick question about him.
What's up? We were going to get to the actual All-Star game itself.
Well, before we get there, we got couple more minutes to kill. Vaughn, what you think? Vaughn, you asked LeBron, and Shaun talked about it earlier with you. We weren't online just yet, but we'll get your thoughts too, obviously. Do you think LeBron should go on a Kobe tour, or the tour at the end, or he should do a Tim Duncan and just hang him up? Abruptly.
A farewell tour. It kind of depends on
farewell tour or abruptly. What you thinking? What you think's better for him?
I don't know.
What would you want to see as a fan?
It depends on if like what happens if Bronny gets drafted. There's a whole bunch of different variables. Like how do they end off this year? Because I feel like they're still competing still. Like with Kobe, the Lakers were dog shit. So it was kind of just like
Kobe it was like a good thing. Go see Kobe last day.
He was going on the farewell tour.
I went.
I saw the last game. I did too.
Everybody was going. Ticket prices were through the roof. He scored 60 in his last game. Does it mean that LeBron's going to try and go for 70 in his last game? I don't know, but
maybe 61.
Maybe triple double.
Like if we knew he was on if we knew he was on a farewell tour, like he would try to go for 70 in his last game. If it was just like, he kind of just hangs it up like Tim Duncan did, then it's just kind of like he fades into the ether. So he could ride off into the sunset with another championship. So he might not even need a World Farewell Tour. So many different variables with him. He wasn't as injured as Kobe was. Like LeBron's pretty much been healthy the majority of his career. Kobe was physically falling apart his latter years of his career, but he still was able to score 60 in his last game. Still insane.
Shaun, what you think? You want to see a tour or you want to see abrupt?
I think I don't want to say that LeBron owes it to the fans, but you could kind of I know exactly which question you're referencing from his press conference before the All-Star game, when a reporter basically asked him the exact question that you're posing, and you could hear LeBron say like it depends on how I'm feeling. I probably would want to just be like Tim Duncan, but then he was like, I feel like I kind of owe it to my fans who have been with me, like to just be able to say goodbye at each city.
And Kevin.
Exactly. Kevin will be there. Kevin will be there in Portland, and Garry will be there in Sacramento. And so
Kevin might try to go to the Sac game and the Portland game.
Kevin would go to Sac, Portland, Golden State, San Francisco, Los Angeles times 2.
Yeah.
But I think that LeBron, if you're asking what I think he should do, like not even factoring in the human element, which like a lot of people tend to forget all the time, is that like these guys are human beings at the end of the day. And so if you want my real answer, I would say whatever LeBron thinks he wants to do, like that's what I think, because like obviously Tim Duncan didn't want all that fanfare. But to me, LeBron may play it off like he doesn't want it, but I think LeBron wants that farewell tour.
How much money he's gonna make off a fucking farewell tour?
Exactly. He can make money.
Remember D Wade's farewell tour? I remember Jesse got me a shirt. Oh,
yep, exactly. Exactly. And so LeBron could benefit from a farewell tour in many ways. And so I would say, unless he just strictly doesn't want to do it, I'd say it's a good idea. But we shall see. As now we're gonna get to the All-Star game, gentlemen, as I don't even is it even worth me even looking up the final score? It was like 211 to 186. It was the most points ever scored by a team in yeah, good luck to anyone who bet the under on the All-Star game. I mean, it must have been a crazy under of like over under. it was probably like 350, Jaevon. Like it was probably insane. But anyways, the East All-Stars, and yes, I said East All-Stars because it's back to the East-West format. Hey, look at that. I actually remember the final score without even needing to look it up. As the East won 211 to 186, and Damian Lillard won the All-Star MVP in this game with 39 points, but Karl Anthony Towns had 50 points and took a 25-point L. So, Jaevon, I'm going to toss it to you first. What did you think about this All-Star game, and what could be changed? Because I think we all agree that it wasn't very exciting.
I think the over I'm seeing on CBSSports.com, 358.
Ooh, see? Told you. I told you it was probably around 350.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, there's a bunch going on. You know, you got Anthony Edwards, left-handed Anthony Edwards. His over-under was at 17.5. And then the statement came out that he was like, yeah, so I see you shooting with your left hand. What's going on here? Yeah, it's just an all-star game. I mean, it doesn't matter. Vegas immediately dropped his points by 5. I think it was 5 total points. Like, it dropped all the way to 12.5, which was insane just because he said he's going to shoot left-handed. That would have been the ultimate finesse if you would have said that and it came out trying to go for 50 points like Cat did.
Makes
You
people
could
some
tell
money.
that people didn't really give a shit. It was like 100 points before halftime, which was insane. You saw the tryhards out there. Karl Anthony Towns was definitely one of those tryhards trying to score as many points as he could. But he joins
Halliburton was early.
Halliburton was early. But
5 3-pointers in like the first 90 seconds.
Dame was hitting half-court shots pretty self-sufficiently. It was pretty insane how effortless he made it look. You know, guys like Luka don't care.
Or Jokic.
I saw like Jokic, yeah, he doesn't give a shit at all.
More than Luka.
Luka's was like
well, because he knows he's not that athletic.
10.5, 12.5 was like his point. When you see these low-ass point totals for guys that average 30 and that lead the league in scoring, and their point total is 12, just take the under.
I mean, LeBron didn't even play in the second half.
Yeah, LeBron was chilling. Like,
well, as he should, but he's 20 years
old. They don't take it as serious. Like, I think the most competitive All-Star game was the year that Kobe was in it in his final year. And then
they're trying to D up LeBron.
Yeah, where he was like trying to D up LeBron, and then there was the one, I think it was after when Kobe passed, and they like played the 24 or something like that. I thought that was
and LeBron had the game winner.
Yeah, that one was pretty competitive too.
They shouldn't have kept that, man. That was a pretty good target score.
Like
Elam ending is great.
I think Kobe.
I don't know why they changed that.
Like one of his like final interviews, I think it was on the Knuckleheads podcast. He basically said that like when him and Chris Paul like got on when they're on the same All-Star team, like they were trying to win. they weren't gonna go out and try to lose or do any of that. But I thought it was pretty telling that, you know, guys today don't really care because ultimately the design of the All-Star game is pretty cool because you're getting the best players from each team and each conference and they get to play against each other in the game. So like a real basketball game. So for them to kind of just go out there and just, you know, lollygag a little bit, it's kind of like, But at the same time, you're looking at the Pro Bowl, like in the NFL.
It's way better than the Pro Bowl.
They don't really give a fuck either. So it's like our All-Star games just kind of just dress rehearsals at this point.
Yes.
Kind of basically.
Probably worse.
But what do we do to fix it? I don't know. Do you just do... I did see something about like a king of the court. I think that's a really cool idea. Maybe do 3 dribbles, have a set amount of guys.
The guys don't want to get exposed.
Yeah. I mean, they do it all the time. Like for like Team USA, and they're saying like guys play harder at. I think Kobe said that guys play harder at UCLA runs than
Rico Hines runs, man.
The Rico Hines run.
It's true.
So, All-Stars don't give a shit. It's a bonus. It's a bonus for them. Obviously, they make a lot of money becoming All-Stars. Like getting to become an All-Star is like that's like the journey in itself. Like becoming an All-Star is, you know, like the hardest thing for them. But when they actually get there, it's like, I'm here now. No one really gives a shit. Let's go. And mind you, the West was favored in that game by like 3 points, and they got demolished.
So they got the older guys.
Yeah.
So.
Go ahead, Garry.
Well, so I got the first couple things I did want to say because I didn't get to say it real quick. As a LeBron fan, I want to see the tour. Obviously. I feel like, yeah, he deserves that for his fans. But like Shaun said, obviously, if he doesn't want that, he doesn't want that. But it'd be cool, I think, to see everyone give him his flowers and have no hate for a year, I guess. Second thing, I feel like, real quick, I wanted to mention, I don't know about y'all, I like the LED court they had. The LED court was lit.
Dope.
I think it was dope. Can't wait to hopefully get there on all leagues. To be honest with you, I feel like that'd be a cool. I don't know how it is in person. I was thinking because I know on the 3-point contest, it was so green, and I was like, is that throwing them off? Because I seen because I was like, obviously I'll be going to games a lot, so I was just looking at small things. I was looking at the ref and how it was like shining bright on green on him a little bit. I was like, damn, like how is Damon them shooting? Are they like getting blinded right now, kind of, or not really? They're just not really looking down, or like I was like just thinking how they can incorporate this into the real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe one day, like you had the motion sense thing on the dunk contest when he was like walking, maybe they kind of fire under you, so they can really tell. Like this would actually side. I know this is total side now. I just thought LED court. I was just like this really help the refs to not even look at legs no more. Basically, shooting like they can just focus on you know what I'm saying? Take a couple things off their plate. Where like we don't even need you to see if it's a 2 or 3. It's automatic. They can see them. They can feel it on the floor if it hits a 2 or 3. If it's behind the line or not. And take that away. So I just feel like seeing that and that, we're already seeing all the AI, all this cool stuff coming into technology. Nice to see that the NBA slowly but surely letting it roll out and, using it to their advantage. So shout out to the NBA. I know everyone sometimes hates change and hates things happening for the better, but in my opinion, I feel like it's a good thing, even though I do like a couple old things in the NBA, traditional stuff, but hey, I feel like that was a good move. I think, Vaughn, I don't know if you heard me, but I did like the LED court they had this weekend for the NBA. I would just
play flag football like the NFL.
Exactly. Something like but okay, now to the game part. Yeah. To the game part, I was gonna say, like Vaughn mentioned, that's why I'm really kind of torn in different ways for this game because everything here out of it, players about this game is they want to try harder. So obviously, when it comes to the game, they're not trying harder. So it's like, all right, how do we kind of make you guys try harder? And you can say the money and things of nature, but it's like a double whammy in a sense. And I feel like this is what players are kind of saying. If you really want to hear them out, I feel like, yes, like Vaughn mentioned, they love the all-star nod. It's it's accomplishment that the family's proud of. They're proud of. Obviously, gets incentives in their contracts, proves that they're superstars, that they're the top 20 to 25 guys in the league, what I'm saying, making this achievement, having great seasons so far. So I feel like the nod themselves, I feel like obviously they're grateful and they're happy, and things of that nature. So it's like, why aren't you trying harder then when you're in the situation? But it's like everyone in the league is taking a damn break. All the teammates, everyone else, which I'm happy about. I know our guys didn't make it, Fox and Sabonis, but hey, they got a break. They got to chill, relax, and even though I want to see them out there, hopefully now that, I'm thinking, you turn into a positive, they're going to buckle up. We're going to be, all the guys who got snubbed, quote unquote, and the other guys in the league, got on vacation and got to relax. And I guess the superstars kind of feel like, or they seem like they feel like, obviously, I don't know, but it kind of seems like they feel like, they're getting kind of like, hey, this is our vacation too. We're going to relax too. Like, and it's like, It's two things. It's like, damn, like that's a part of this too. You get the nod being all-stars, so you have to have responsibilities of an all-star. You know what I'm saying? You have to show fan love and things of that nature. And I think they love to do and would want to do. And they know this weekend's about the fans, as it should, because they know the fans come up, show up, and put a lot of their butts in the seats and they buy things. And, obviously, quote unquote trickles down to their wallets in a sense. You feel me? Obviously to the owner's wallet and to their wallet, So obviously it's a tough thing to say. So I've been thinking all day, how can we fix this shit so they can be good games in the summer like we see, and they're not worried about injuries and things of that nature. And let's just forget the All-Star break. Let's make the All-Star game at the end of the year. And I don't understand why this is not getting talked about. Why can't it just be at the end of the game? A regular break in the middle of the season, same time. It's not in the middle of the season, first of all. It's like 3/4 of the way through. 40 games are done. 25 games are left. Give them a break like a regular, like there is, like a weekend, 2, 3, whatever ways, because it is a Shaun, why move your head so much closer in? You don't think they deserve a break or something?
Because it doesn't work in the NFL, so what makes you think it would work in the NBA?
NFL, I'm not even worried about that because I feel like the NFL, that's just sport. You can't play football half-hearted.
There's no way. Even the flag football is half-hearted.
They just can't play half-hearted. I'm not worried about the NFL one. I just feel like they don't even have any. They just name their all-stars and don't even have a game. Like that's what they're thinking. I don't remember I cannot think of one and ever NFL All-Star game, quote unquote.
Pro Bowl.
That's Pro Bowl. My bad. Pro Bowl that's ever been. I can't remember a damn play, a touchdown, anything that's ever close game. Not even one ever in my whole life. Y'all can maybe tell me.
10 years for me. I could think of a couple, but it's been like 10 years since I've seen.
Yeah, in my childhood, I don't remember. All I remember is All-Star games in NBA. So because it's more facial recognition. So, huh?
When Shaun Taylor hit the punter when he was trying to run off like a fake.
Exactly. R.I.P. Shaun Taylor.
Exactly. So yeah, it's actually, I think the All-Star game in basketball's always been a little bit better. It's always been higher level, so quote unquote. So I'm not really worried about
not anymore.
So I feel like that, and that's the thing too. I don't lie. I like seeing LeBron thrown off the backward D-Wade in the All-Star game. I like seeing cool combos. I liked seeing, don't worry, I'm going to go to, I liked Luka, and I liked, Joker throwing a little tip pass. You know what I'm saying? They're cool, make the why they're All-Stars, and they can do these game pulls from half court.
The Will elbow pass.
Yeah. From half court pull. You know what I'm saying? Those type of cool things, like Shaun mentioned, he liked Karl-Anthony Towns dunks in the game. Didn't you like those, Shaun? So
it made me think that he could have at least tried to participate in the slam dunk competition. So I wasn't watching Jacob Toppin.
We like couple. Well, don't hate on Toppin now. His brother and him got bounced. They both got bounced.
He's a G Leaguer. That's the point, Gary. He's a G Leaguer.
But if he's a good dunker, he deserves to be in it.
But he won last year.
But if you're not gonna have superstar guys in there, I feel like. Anyway, we already talked about this, Shaun. We're on the All-Star game now. Stick with me. There's guys that you want to see these things, don't you? You want to see all these great moments in the All-Star game, but at the same time, you want it competitive. So how can we do that? We can let's let shorten. They were on the right track. I feel like I like them. I don't know what happened. It was it. They got a close game. Okay. I don't know why they stopped the pick 'em. I don't know why, because people get disrespected. I don't know why they stopped the pick 'em now. I like that too. I like them. I think it was kind of funny and stuff like that. Maybe it just caused them to be uncomfortable. I don't know. But if you want to take that away, I like to East versus West again. No problem. I just feel like the main thing is let's get it at the end of the year. I do think that might make a difference. I know guys might be irritated because they packed their bags, they're ready for the year, things of that nature. But it's really only like a month away, realistically, till the end of the year now, a month and a half, April, till the season's over. Month and a half, the guys, then they really don't worry about injury. If you do get quote unquote injured, at least you have the whole off season. I know they might think of playoff things and things of that nature, but I just feel like at the end of the year, they might get a better game because at the end of the day, they're right. We see better runs. I see better YouTube clips on Rico Hines' summer camp thing where they're going way harder, or that one gym they always play in New York where you can see the buildings. They have buildings painted in the back. You know what I'm saying? I think that's in New York, some of the buildings they always play at. So, those games, when they have those little streams, you watch them, those are entertaining, and hearing all the mic'd up talking, you know what I'm saying? You can hear stuff and see them go at it. So, I just feel like the way they set it up, it's, set up to where, they all know, and we're just saying it all, the vibe is relaxed. The vibe isn't competitive. The vibe isn't juices. It's give me my flowers and relax. And I know back in the day they used to take some pride in it, and I don't know. And that pride was different back in the day because they were told to, keep the league up and up and, show out for a league. And now it's I feel like they already know the league's up. So it doesn't matter if you're going to watch no matter what. We all watch and we all know how it's going to go down. They all talked about how it's going to be more competitive. It's going to be better. And Shaun, me, and Vaughn all sat there and watched the 211 to 186. So, at the end of the day, they got us there already. So let's just try to make it a little more closer.
Shaun, did you hear that?
Yeah, sorry, Gary. It's just you've had some internet buffering throughout today's episode.
Matrix.
Yeah, there's been a couple times where you've been talking and one word got stretched and it was yeah, like almost like the old sound that what was before the internet? It was like dial up, like the dial up noise where it just go. It's
You can still hear me or
okay,
not? I don't know.
Yeah, we got you. It's been like maybe 3 to 5 times in today's hour.
I thought it was
like
that was just me.
Nah, Toddy, I've heard it too, but like he's mid sentence,
Bro,
so I'm
y'all
not
gonna
gonna
let me
be
keep
like
talking and sound like a fucking idiot up here. The hell y'all doing to me? Y'all should mid sentence.
Gary. Well, Gary, like I said, it's been very intermittent and short. So like you might say one word, the sound comes for like 3 seconds, and then you're back, and then you finish your sentence, and then we're on to another topic, and then you're in the middle of what you're saying, and it might be there for like 3 seconds, but you know, like I don't really know what. Yeah, it's like a hiccup.
Got Jesse to come over here. What's happening?
Yeah, I know. Jesse needs to let us know. Come on, Jesse. We saw you handing Gary a water bottle. We need some help.
We saw you.
Man,
it's all good.
Today.
It's all good. It is all good. As we're starting to wrap up episode number 82 of Stats Over Politics. Shaun Holko alongside Gary Singh and Jaevon. Toddy Kevin Dent is here with us in spirit. Well, guys, we're gonna get to Jaevon and the Nets firing him in. Like Gary? Well, so this week on Shaun's Pop Quiz, and the leaderboard is as follows for season 2. Toddy has 4, Gary has 3, Kaz has 2. So when Kaz joins us from time to time, he'll be able to pick up some points. But now it's time for Gary and Jaevon to pick up some points. So 2 questions, and since Toddy is in the lead, Gary, I will give you the first question.
Dancing, bro.
Gary. All right, Gary, here's your question. Don't get distracted. Here's your question.
Mm-hmm.
So this weekend, Damian Lillard became the second NBA player to win an All-Star Game MVP and a Saturday night event in the same year. Who was the other player? So
Saturday night
question. So this weekend, Damian Lillard became the second NBA player to win an All-Star Game MVP and a Saturday night event in the same year. Who was the other, Gary?
Curry. Stephen Curry.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I'm just assuming he won 3-point contest and won the MVP. I don't know if he even got All-Star MVP, to be honest with you. This is my guess.
That is incorrect. I don't think Stephen Curry has gotten an All-Star MVP yet. Jaevon, do you have a guess for who this could be?
Kyrie Irving.
That is also incorrect.
Damn!
That was a guess.
Ooh.
Any other guesses? Kobe Bryant is incorrect.
Hold on, Vaughn. Take a turn one by one, man. You're throwing bullets. Are you gonna start?
All right. Well. All right. So now, Gary, he's just gonna start naming off people if you don't.
I know he is. No,
Blake Griffin is incorrect.
I don't know. These guys got MVPs in the game. I don't know. Tim Duncan? No, I'm kidding. I don't know.
You guys are gonna hate yourself. Come on, guys.
Damian Lillard.
Oh. No, that is incorrect. Well, yeah, Damian Lillard did it.
Michael Jordan.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, yeah.
Gary got
MJ.
it.
How not
Gary got it.
Man?
It was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the other guy to do it.
Jeffrey?
Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Yep, Michael Jeffrey Jordan
in here.
So Damian Lillard now joins Michael Jordan on that very short list. Now we're tied. Toddy has 4, Gary has 4, but this is Toddy's question, and this is a multi-answer question. So Toddy could pick up 3 points right now. Here's the question. Yeah, you say that. All right, so Toddy, here's your question. Tyrese Halliburton became the 4th Pacer in franchise history to start in an All-Star game this past weekend. Who were the others?
Reggie Miller.
One's totally easy. Oh my god.
Okay, there you go. Ding, ding, ding. Reggie Miller. That is correct. Reggie Miller did it twice in 1990 and 1995. So Toddy picked up a point.
Easy one.
Paul George.
There's
exactly.
Paul George. Ding, ding, ding. That is correct. Paul George also did it twice in 2014 and 2016. Toddy's there. There is one more answer.
Mark
For
Jackson?
another, what was the answer, Toddy?
Mark Jackson?
That is incorrect.
Damn.
So that's your 3 guesses. So now we will toss it over to Gary. Toddy just picked up 2 points and he's now at 6. But Gary, you can pick up the last point to keep your deficit at 1 after this week. So
no, he didn't.
Tyrese Halliburton. So Tyrese Halliburton became the 4th Pacer in franchise history to start in an All-Star game this past weekend.
Oh,
2 of the others, yes, to start in an All-Star game. Reading the question is important. So Paul George is one of them. Reggie Miller is one of them. Tyrese Halliburton is one of them. There is one more Indiana Pacer who has started an All-Star game in their career. This guy did it 3 times.
In the 80s, huh? 90s?
No, in the 2000s. And that's the only hint you're going to get. Well, Toddy, it's Gary's turn to guess, so we will let Gary guess.
Well, now it might be Ron Artest.
Is Ron Artest your final answer, Gary?
I'm just gonna piggyback off. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was actually thinking. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
I need a final answer.
Ron Artest. I'm gonna steal Vaughn's. Thanks, Vaughn.
Wrong, he gave you the wrong answer. All right,
I know it's one of
Toddy,
the Indiana teams.
Yep, that is correct. Toddy, back to you. There's one other Pacer who has started an All-Star game.
Jamal Tinsley?
That is incorrect. Steven Jackson is incorrect. And so tossing it back to you, Toddy. You guys have named 2 out of 3
Marcus
players
Camby?
from this core. No, that is also incorrect. At this point, it's a free-for-all. So Tyrese Halliburton, Reggie
guys
Miller,
off that team.
Paul
There was
George.
a guy off that team right now. I'm pulling
In
Oh,
the
Ben
2000s,
Wallace was in that
TJ
team?
Finley?
Ben Wallace was never on the Pacers, and no, TJ is
I'm thinking
incorrect.
Pistons, bro, that year.
Bro, I am.
This guy started the All-Star game in 2003, 2004, and 2006 for the Indiana Pacers.
It's not Danny Granger, is it?
No,
Oh,
Danny
damn,
Granger
no.
was a little bit later. You guys are gonna kick yourself for this one. This one isn't as bad as Michael Jordan, but you guys are gonna kick.
Jermaine O'Neal.
Ding, ding, ding! That is correct. Toddy got it.
Oh,
Jermaine
Well,
O'Neal started?
He did it. He started 3 times, Gary. 2003, 2004, and 2006.
J.O. was the truth. Like
there you
J.O.
go.
was good, but shit, we had a little bit of a.
I think he was
down
an
years,
high
huh?
school guy too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so as well, Toddy. Yes. So there you go. Gary picks up the point on the Michael Jordan question, but then Toddy responds with 3 on the Indiana Pacers
2 easy
question.
ones.
Now the leaderboard is Toddy 7, Gary 4, Kaz 2, and Kevin currently has a
Yeah, I know. You got to give me 3 point opportunities too, then, because it's not fair. He just hit 3, boom. Like at today's show, equal.
Well, Gary, the thing is
I
that
got one.
Toddy got 3 guesses for the 3 answers. He got 3 guesses. He nailed the first 2. He missed the third one, and then you guys just bounce back and forth. It's not my fault. It's not Toddy's fault that you couldn't get the answer right.
Per usual. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
He gets all
but anyways, let's continue, guys, as we have one factor cap question for this week, and this factor cap is related to the NBA All-Star Game. As Jaevon, factor cap. The NBA All-Star Game should be USA versus the world.
I don't know if there's like enough world players, if that makes sense. Because like I get that Jokic, because Canada plays a role into it too. So I'm like Shay's Canadian, but like,
and one. I will just interject real quickly just to say before we get your full answer on this is just that in this year's All-Star Game, it wasn't a perfect split between USA and Europe. It was probably about 60% USA, 40% Europe. But if this is the rule going into future All-Star Games, then the selections would be based off of it. Maybe some more Americans would be left out of the All-Star Game if this were to happen.
Exactly.
But it would be interesting. So, Toddy, factor cap. The NBA All-Star Game should be USA versus world.
I'm going to say this is a cap. I just don't think there's that many. Like, I get that the world is starting to catch up with the U.S. Like, you know, the Giannis's, the Embiid, Jokic, Luka, Shea. This is kind of in that category as well. But I just named, like 5 players? And then there's everybody else. There's LeBron, there's Steph, there's Anthony Edwards, just a bunch of. I feel like the majority of the NBA is obviously domestic, U.S. based versus, guys, coming from other spots. But you see guys like Wemby who were obviously didn't even play or grow up really in the States, grew up in France and, played out there his whole life. And then when it was time to make that transition, he didn't go to college. He just fucking he went to, but LeBron didn't go to college too. So there are definitely different ways for guys to kind of mold their way into the NBA. But there's definitely been different ways for guys that have kind of paved the way. The high school route, guys, going straight to the league out of high school. The NBA kind of, shied away from that a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe it was, I don't know why they shied away, because I thought it was pretty cool that guys were coming out of high school. And then you got guys like Brandon Jennings, who kind of weaseled their way around that 1 year gap period, and they end up going overseas and making a shit ton of money overseas. And then,
LaMelo,
I'm a top 5 pick. Yeah, LaMelo Ball. And, you're seeing guys like JG go to the G League and get, picked second overall. Scoot Henderson went to the G League, So there are definitely different ways to do it. But I feel like if the NBA didn't create that 1 year gap rule, then guys would just be coming out of high school, which I don't see anything wrong with at all. But I guess that's the rule now. So I'm going to say that this is a cap, just because I don't think there are enough world guys for that to be an all-star format, if that makes sense.
Gary, I know that earlier you suggested a change for the All-Star game being playing it after the season like the NFL does. And so, factor cap. The NBA All-Star game should be USA versus World.
I'm going to say cap on this one, Shaun. I'd kind of piggyback on what Vaughn says. I was just that's really what it right there. I don't want to take spots away from people just because there were not enough team on the quote unquote American team or on the world team. Basically, in kind of a way, like, I just want the top 15, top 20 players, top 22 players, or however you want to split. If you want to add 2 more spots, 15 spots, or top 30 players in the league that deserve to be all-star or all-star caliber to make this team. Simple as that. And if it can shake out to be 15 versus 15 to make, this thing happen 1 year, that would be cool. But
I think the Rising Star game was like that.
Yeah, exactly. The Rising Star game was like that. So, then again, you just don't want to put people who don't deserve to be in it or who are on the edge because, in a sense, that kind of messes up history in a way, and that kind of takes the glory out of making that high achievement, you know what I'm saying? To say that you're basically a top 25 player in the world when you make this type of team, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really want to take that away just because, USA versus World, there's not enough spots. So I think that's why this idea doesn't work for the All-Star game. But if they want to have something like a 5-on-5 tournament, maybe Shaun, something like that, that would be cool, have enough 5-on-5 where all right, one team might not have enough superstars, something like that. That'd be cool. Maybe just have this at the end at the end of the year. They can have an all-star game, and then they can have a side game where they have a couple good world players, a couple good USA players playing, I know that brings intrigue, and, we can really look at the statistics, especially in boxing when they have kind of race versus race, cards, the people do kind of tend to, stand up and watch those a lot because, hey, I don't know. It's just what we're built on, I guess, in this world, races on races, I guess. They always comes back to that, I guess. So in a sense, I can see how that can be intriguing and working. And, now obviously how there's so many diverse players in the NBA. I think 30% are from out of the United States in the NBA. So I love to see how, it's getting diverse and different guys are getting represented from all different type of cultures now in the NBA. So that's a good thing for the league to keep promoting. And for this particular idea, I don't think it'd be a good idea for the NBA to do this particular idea. But in some type of way to, show off that they do have all sorts of different people playing this game in their sport, it's going to keep helping them grow. And, maybe one day, you never know, they'll have an NBA team in London. You never know, man. They're trying to make things happen. Technology is getting greater and greater. They're trying to make things happen. So if somehow, some way they can get a flight that's an hour from SAT to London, book it. You got a game this weekend. So, they've been trying to test those things out in the NFL maybe one day. So it'll be cool, man. It'll be cool to keep spreading their wings and keep trying to do these type of things. But for this particular thing, just don't want to take the allure from someone not making it just because there wasn't enough spots for their, for a certain side, for a certain nation, I guess you could say. So yeah, Cap.
I'm gonna say, real quickly, I'll just say factor cap. The NBA All-Star Game should be USA versus World. You know what? I'm gonna say fact because I really enjoyed the Rising Stars game when it was USA versus World, and the reason why is because of Canada. Canada has produced several really good NBA players, whether if it be Jamal Murray, Andrew Wiggins, RJ Barrett, the list goes on.
All the all-star guys, though.
Jamal Murray was an all-star. Andrew Wiggins was an all-star. RJ Barrett is like on the cusp of being an all-star. Probably not right now. I don't think
Jamal Murray never made an all-star game.
Has he not? Really? Wow.
He deserves it because he's had bad regular snap injury.
Yeah, you're right.
Season.
You're right, Jaevon.
He's a player. He's all-star though. He's all-star caliber. That's for sure.
Yeah, he certainly is, and that's crazy to even think about. But he should be one day, and even Karl Anthony Towns could be considered in that group, as well as a DeAndre Ayton who was born in the Caribbean islands. And so even Domantas Sabonis was born in the United States. I think he was born in Portland when his dad Arvydas was playing for the Trailblazers. But if they relax the Laurie, of course, he's the finisher. He's got to be on the list. But I'm kind of talking about the guys that are in the gray area right now. Like if they allow some of those guys who are in the gray area, like a Sabonis who was born in the United States, but he has Lithuanian ties. If they let those guys play for the world team, that's where it could become a little more even. And get to Gary's point, they wouldn't have to do all right, here's 12 guys that were born outside of the United States, and here's 12 guys that were born in the United States. They should just pick the 24 All-Stars and then divide it from there. And then that's where the gray area players could go to one side. Because you look at a list right now, and I'm going to include Jamal Murray, Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns, DeAndre Ayton, even Domantas Sabonis. Those are guys who I would consider
on the All-Star team?
Yeah.
You just named six people. There was only 2 guys that were worthy to be on those.
Yeah, that is correct. Karl Anthony Towns, Domantas Sabonis should have been an all-star, but he wasn't. But here's the we got to find 12, and so I just named 5.
Shaun, we're trying to find now. We're giving guys who don't deserve it. But go ahead, finish your point.
Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, Lowry, Markkanen, Pascal Siakam, Kristaps Porzingis, Rudy Gobert. I mean, that's 8 right there. And then you start to throw in a Nikola Vucevic, who's been an all-star before. That's 9. Alperen Sengun, he could be an all-star one day. Either one of the Bogdanoviches. You get close enough. But, I think saying this list is kind of defeating my own point. So you're going to kick out?
No. Kick out Kevin Durant?
Saying this list, I know Shaun's thinking damn, that means we're not going to have – you're going to not to have no disrespect, bruh. But whoever you just said at the end, they're going to make it over Fox? Come on, bruh. Slap them in the face.
They're going to make it over KD? They're going to make it over KD?
Bruh.
Well,
Ron is that cat.
Yeah, I think I just killed my own. I'm going to take off my hat. Yeah, just take off my hat because this is Cap. Yeah. I apologize. So anyways, as we close things out here on episode number 82 of Stats Over Politics, I put my hat back on because I took it off just to make a point, and I realized that was a bad decision because then I had to take off my headphones. The Nets fired Jaevon. I think that was today. Either of you have anything to say about that? I mean, the Nets are obviously a disappointment. It is a cold world. Garry, any other analysis besides that?
It's the league, man. Did they get blown out by 50 by Celtics the other day?
Yeah, I think that was the final straw for them.
Exactly.
They were turning down 5 first-round picks for him, apparently.
Well, it's time to start cashing in on those first-round picks. I thought the one thing I'll say about this is that Jaevon, he had a very classy exit in the statement that he said towards the organization and the owners, and I just thought that was cool. we'll see what happens. The Nets are a team that were a KD toe away from winning the NBA. Yeah, and Ben Simmons is still on that team. But they were a KD toe away from winning the championship in 2021. Instead, that championship resides in Milwaukee, and who knows if or when the Brooklyn Nets will ever get a championship. But when that big three came together, or even when Kyrie and KD came together in Brooklyn, it seemed like the Nets were a lock for at least one NBA championship. Ha!
Aaron Williams?
Well,
ISO Joe?
How could you forget? Yeah, how could you forget Jason Terry in that as well? I mean,
that
the guy, the Jason Terry, the guy who didn't even want to come to Sacramento.
Kyrie. Sheesh.
Man.
I feel bad for this coach, man. You know, he got tough, just couldn't really start the beginning, you know. I think real quick, wasn't he, you know, with Katie and all them in the middle, you know, just a whole bunch of turbulence. Hopefully get his footing right, get a real opportunity, you know, get some things for him, so he deserves that.
Well, Jaevon is the one who took over for Steve Nash after he got fired. Jaevon, closing thoughts?
This is not even basketball related.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is a Birdman hands. Putting my thing. I saw something that the Chargers might cut Joey Bosa.
Ooh.
For cap reasons, you know, the coach trying to come in and, you know, create some cap. So
that'd be dumb as hell.
Joey Bosa gets cut. Where does he go? Yeah. Where does he play? Where
y'all just want to keep stacking and keep losing, stacking and keep losing. Didn't y'all fucking have what's the name this year? I'm sorry for cussing, but did you have what's the name on the edge? What happened to him? Mr. Number Break. Yeah, what happened to him? Huh?
He had 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. That's what happened to him.
Beat the baby goat. I'm happy to touch a little football today. You can't beat the baby goat. You guys are still crying a week later. I'm happy to see it.
I'm trying to get over it.
Shout out to all the Niner fans. I love y'all. Yeah, Vaughn's out of here.
Toddy, we lost you for 5 seconds, but we got you back.
I said, you got guys like Garry. Well, I'm trying to get over it. And you got guys like Garry and Khalil. Khalil keeps DMing me shit on Instagram and Twitter, and I'm not opening his messages.
We didn't talk about y'all fired our coach. We didn't talk about y'all talked about that already? No, I might have missed him. Sorry.
We fired our coach. Oh, well, Steve Wilkes. Yeah, you're right.
Our D coordinator.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Thank you, Garry. Thank you for the reminder. You know, I think that there were plays in that Super Bowl that it was glaring. Like late in that game. I don't know if either of you watched the mic up from the Super Bowl. Well, yeah, the timeout, that was one of the things. But I don't know if either of you watched the mic'd up from the Super Bowl, Toddy. I watched it, and I highly recommend that you don't, because it was extremely painful. But there was a play aside from the timeout that they had to call late in that game. There was a moment in that game where Kyle Shanahan, they put the camera on Kyle Shanahan, and he's like, all right, we just need this one stop. Oh, yeah, it was Mahomes going for it on 4th down in overtime. Trent Williams literally was saying on the bench, 15's going to keep it. 15's going to keep it. Keep an eye on 15. He's going to keep it. You have your Hall of Fame offensive lineman on the bench screaming what he's about to do. Kyle Shanahan, the camera pans to him, and Kyle Shanahan says, all right, we just need one stop. We win the Super Bowl. One stop, we win the Super Bowl. Then Mahomes does.
I was walking back and forth, and I was saying the same exact thing.
Man,
I was saying, oh, this is riding on right here. Mahomes, come on, it can't end like this.
Yeah, and so then Mahomes obviously does what Mahomes does. Then the camera comes back on Shanahan, and you just see the utter look of disappointment in his face. He is just like he is just sick. And that just adds on to the fact that in the first half, the Lions in the NFC Championship game were averaging like 7 yards a carry against a team that's supposed to have one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. Steve Wilkes, like I was talking about this in one of my group chats, I'm convinced that the 49ers were just hoping that Steve Wilkes got hired by one of these teams that had a head coach opening, because that way they could get another draft pick, but then also that way they didn't have to fire him, which they ultimately did the day after the Super Bowl. Jaevon, I pass it to you.
Yeah, so anyway, we're just Birdman hands away from signing Joey Bosa in the offseason. Hopefully he gets cut by the Chargers.
Was it the right move to fire Steve Wilkes?
Perhaps.
No.
Go
Go ahead. I'll let you go, Vaughn, because I got something to say.
I guess because you're seeing things throughout the season, like Nick Bosa was saying, he's kind of getting accustomed to things that we do around here. Like, he's a part of us. Okay. Him blitzing a lot was kind of his MO going into the season. And, him, ultimately there are a couple of key moments. Like he was almost going to get fired at one point in time. Like he had to come down from the booth. I think this 49ers team defense is as talented as they come. I mean, there are stars pretty much from safety who did not play in this game. Don't know to the D line, to the linebackers. And I feel like in the correct scheme, they are virtually unstoppable. I feel like we were at our best when D'Amico and Saleh were our DCs. Even though we didn't go to the Super Bowl with D'Amico there, when he was the DC. But back in 2019 when we got the Super Bowl, and obviously, we know what happened there. But I feel like with the right DC, the Niners will be able to succeed. I'm back. Guys that are out there, Mike Vrabel is a guy that I think we can probably claw and gnaw at. I want Bill Belichick. I don't think it's possible or feasible that it happens.
Just Mike Vrabel, though.
Just based on the fact that Bill obviously has 6 Super Bowls, and he was running the Patriots dynasty. So I don't really know who else would be out there like for a DC job, or do we just promote from within? That's usually what we've been doing. Guys just basically move up and then they become a head coach somewhere else. So we'll see. We'll see as I can't wait for the offseason. I can't wait to start talking draft because there was a thing. I'm gonna go off on another tangent here. I know Soap's like, hurry the hell up. I saw something. I posted in the Instagram group chat, and I saw that somebody said that Caleb Williams is already a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. And I was like, hold on now. This is going back to last summer that I was saying something like this. So I think it was like from like Betty to MGM or something. They post like a graphic.
Jaevon saw it and he just thought, really? Really?
I was like, I wonder where you got that from. But hey man, the Bears could be a playoff team next year.
It was from Bet MGM, by the way. It was.
Yeah. So I'm not crazy, guys. I'm just gonna say that now. I'm not crazy.
Well, Toddy, real quickly before we end up hearing Garry drop the mic on us, because he said he has something to say about this. But before we hear from Garry, I just got to ask, Toddy, did you see the Justin Fields versus Caleb Williams political ad videos that someone made? A Bears fan, like there's been so much debate in Chicago between if they should keep Justin Fields debate, or. Well, there has been a lot of debate apparently, and so one Bears fan made 2 opposing videos, basically like framing it as if they were running for politics, and so like in the first one, Toddy, I'll send it to our group chat so you guys can both see it. But the first one is like, Justin Fields is so great, and this is why Caleb Williams shouldn't come. And then the second one is, Caleb Williams is so great. Why would you keep Justin Fields? Toddy, I guarantee you will laugh out loud just because of how big of a Caleb Williams fan you are. And Garry, you'll probably get a good laugh out of this too, because I did. But highly recommend you both tuning into those after we're done with this podcast. Garry, go ahead and drop the mic for episode 82.
Just real quick, I just thought it was bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it was like scapegoating. Like, why are you guys talking now? All of a sudden, the players, it's not the same as our previous D coordinator. Like, this guy just didn't help you guys take him to Super Bowl. Like, this guy didn't stop Patrick Mahomes with 3 points in the first half and 18-19 in the whole game instead of overtime. Maybe Mr. Shanahan should have took the ball second in overtime and maybe, knowing the rules
Yes,
of overtime.
we've been there. Yes, I already went after him last week. We've been over this.
Exactly. But it's like, why the whole week now, all of a sudden they want to blame the defensive coach when I've been hearing all year, we're a top 5 defense. We might have one of the best defenses in the league. That's what I was trying to hear from Niner fans. All I'm hearing is, yeah, sounds about right. We should have fucking gave our coach away. This is some bullshit, man. Like, it just makes no sense. Like, why are you blaming the coach? The players should have played fucking better. How about that? I just don't like how they let the man at the end go and they kicked him on a Monday when, to be honest with you, Mike Shanahan whatever should have been on the hot seat himself. I mean, I don't think he should have got fired because I think he's a great coach. He didn't deserve that. And I just don't like how they basically made Mr. Wilkes look like a bad guy here at the very end, from the players to the coaches and things of that nature. I know he wasn't maybe as good as the previous coaches you guys had, obviously, and seeing DeMeco Ryan doing what he did in Texas, and obviously what's his name is doing in for the Jets right now. Robert doing for the Jets, they didn't really have a great defense this year either. You know what I'm saying? They had a solid defense, but I just feel like it was just like they're trying to blame someone, so they just blame the defensive coach who stopped Patrick Mahomes 3 points in the first half. Okay. And yeah, you burned a one time. Maybe you shouldn't have went on the 4th down. I feel like it was just like hella messed up, man. I really do feel like it was just messed up. Now what? Now you guys think you're gonna have a 4 D coordinators in 4 years? It's gonna help the situation. Why don't you rock with you guys? Rock with them instead of just trying to change. Look at Von's already trying to get rid of his own guy to get Bosa now. Trying to knock you guys already got a fucking all-star team over there. Make excuses after excuses. Maybe Brock Purdy should do better.
What's better than one Bosa? 2. Well, okay. The thing is, Gary, is that what you are conveniently forgetting is that the 49ers lost 3 games in a row from week 6 to week 8. They lost to the Browns. They lost to the Vikings. They lost to the Bengals. They only should have lost to the Bengals in that 3-week stretch. After they lost 3 games in a row, Steve Wilkes had to come down from the booth and be on the sideline. Why? Because Kyle Shanahan told him, yeah, your players, they tend to do better when their defensive coordinator is on the sideline. So Steve Wilkes had to change something he had been doing for his entire career as a coordinator just to conform to the 49ers. And as we said, he was just trying to become a member of what we had already established and just go with the flow. And then you almost lose to the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game because their dynamic duo of running backs, no, they shouldn't have.
Yeah, they should have, because the offense wasn't clicking for you guys either till the second half. Fuck, what were you doing the first half?
We were down 24-7. That's
and then what happened in the second half?
Talking about
what did the defense do in the second half? Shut it down. So now it's his fault.
No. What they did is they got Dan Campbell to go for it on 4th down twice when he should have just taken the damn points.
Stops. They got the stops.
The 49ers would have lost that game if Dan Campbell didn't go for it.
Y'all just want to save Shanahan. They just want to save Shanahan. It's all good.
Shanahan. You said it yourself, Gary. He's a top 5 head coach. So obviously the problem.
Yeah, but he deserves some blame. You should not be trying to blame the other guys when you're the head honcho.
We have already been over this.
We
went over this.
Right,
we went over this all of last week. I went in on Shanahan and the Niners for the fact that they lost the Super Bowl because they didn't know the damn overtime rules. But now we're talking about Steve Wilkes, and you're asking the two of us who watched every single second of 49ers football this season, and both of us
think it was his fault. His defense was his fault.
I think that it wasn't a good fit. I think it wasn't a good fit. Regardless of if
maybe y'all needed a little switch up because y'all didn't win the last 2 years. So maybe he needed to bring a little switch up. Maybe he needed to stay up top because y'all needed a little switch up because y'all ain't doing nothing since 94.
That's the thing is he didn't switch anything, and I'm not even going to acknowledge your shade. He didn't. That's the thing is he didn't change anything. Okay.
The Steelers hired Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator.
Hey, all right.
And the guys he coached have some numbers. Okay. All I know is my team won a bowl 2 times since y'all won. You don't forget that now.
We'll be okay, guys.
Yeah,
Kenny Pickett's their quarterback.
Hey, we talked about something last week I didn't even mention. Y'all was talking about seeing bowls within your eyes. I seen a bowl with my 2 eyes, you know what I'm saying? With my 2 eyes.
He doesn't remember it. He was like 12.
12? I was remember. That's the one thing I do remember. That's the reason I'm a Steelers fan, man. It's because of that bowl. All right, go ahead. Anyways, let's get the show going.
Well, I I mean, I tend to have the NFL Network on my TV as we record these podcasts, and it's not as entertaining anymore now that the season has come to an end. But earlier, I saw the Super Bowl that you guys were referencing when we were all 12, and yeah, Santonio Holmes with the toe touch, perfection.
I've seen the highlight too because the fall still pages. So every time Super Bowl comes, they always replay those last ending moments of that game.
The James Harrison 100-yard run in that game was pretty insane.
Yep, pick 6.
Yeah,
it was legendary. All right, guys. Well, our power hour turned into 2. I apologize to Sophia and Mako, but that's going to do it for episode number 82 of Stats Over Politics. Make sure to give us a like on YouTube. It helps us a lot. And if you enjoy the podcast, hit subscribe to get notifications when we go live. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Stats Over Politics and on X at Stats or Politics. See all the great content Kevin's putting out there. And make sure to subscribe or review on all podcast platforms. If you're enjoying the show, give us 5 stars. We'd really appreciate it. As you guys have been tuned into episode number 82 of Stats Over Politics. For my guys, Jaevon, Toddy, Kevin, Dent, and Garry Singh, I'm your host, Shaun Holko, and we will catch you all next Monday on another episode of Stats Over Politics.
Peace.
Peace.